Hello guys, and we're here today with a very crazy deck, a very interesting deck. This is Pepe for now. Once some of the new Performer Pal support comes out with the structure deck, and of course in Bosch this will be a very different deck, but this is what it's looking like right now. And the problem I'm having with this deck is that there isn't any draw power. You go off of pretty much what you have in your hand, and like you can do a whole bunch of searching and you can do plays, but if I feel this deck would be a lot better if there was like an XZ that lets you draw whenever you XZ something, like a Librarian. This deck would be absolutely crazy, because sometimes you just need a whole bunch of cards to do some of the combos with this deck. But it is a very interesting deck, very crazy, very powerful deck, and the whatnot. So let's just go in. So 2 Partinaga, it's your scales, Partinaga, and then for the other Performer Power we run with Lizard Draw. These are a great alternate scale, but most likely you're going to destroy Lizard Draw, so that way you can get the draw effect. Of course you have to run 3 of the Draco Slayer, so that way you can trigger the plus fires and get its effect off. And then for the Performer Power engine we run 2 Trick Down, 2 Hat Trigger, because Hat Trigger can just summon himself out, but if you want to knock him down to 1, that is alright. And then 3 Damage Juggler, and then as well we have 3 Mirror Conductors for another scale. So pretty much the idea of the deck is to open up with these 2 cards if possible, and then destroy him, summon out this guy, and then either normal summon or maybe get off a pendulum summon, or find some way to spell summon out, get another level 4 out, and then make either King of the Pharaoh Imp, so that way you can search out Partinaga, or make something like Trapeze Magician. And so that is pretty much what you do. And then Gigabyte is also very useful. If you control a spellcaster, you can special summon him on out. I do not run Nefarious Archery Leader because he has to be destroyed in order to really use him. And Heroic Challenge 1000 Blade I feel is better than Nefarious Archery Leader, so I'd run him. And then of course, like I said, Lizard Draw, and then 3 Max C, because this deck definitely Max C helps, because you don't have the stun cards, you don't have the effect bearers or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sagis, but you do have Damage Juggler who will prevent you from being OTK'd. So facing the mirror match or whatever, just drop this card, just keep on drawing. And of course 2 Instant Fusions. We only run 1 node in, so I guess to emerald that first node in back, so that way you can use the second one. It's more about just consistency in seeing Instant Fusion, because once you use that normal summon, you don't really have much you can do. So Instant Fusion helps you get back stuff. It lets you play way more aggressive with your Trick Clowns. You've already used one, alright, I'm going to Instant Fusion, summon him back out, attach him to a monster, and I just won't use him as that XYZ material. So just something interesting to note. And then 1 Rogeki, 1 Soul Charge. I know this deck can be very expensive in life, especially with all the cards we're running, but Soul Charge, I don't see a reason not to play it, because it's just like summon out any monsters from your graveyard. So it's just really, really crazy. You may not have a lot of life, but you can set up a board that's just absolutely beautiful. And it can force out warnings, it can force out a whole bunch of stuff, because your opponent just can't let that go through. They just can't. Foolish, of course, you can set up for a Heroic Challenger, you can search for a scale by sending a Damage Juggler, you can get a Trick Clown, you can do a whole bunch with Foolish Burial. 1 Wavering Eyes. I really don't like Wavering Eyes in this deck until we get new support, because in order for Wavering Eyes to be good, you have to have 3 Pendulums in your hand. You need to have 3 Pendulums, doesn't matter what they are, so that way you can destroy 2 and then search out another one, so that way you have your scale. If you have only 2 and you destroy it, you're going to get off a search, but you only have 1 Pendulum, so you're not going to get a Pendulum summon off. So I don't really like running it at 2, because then it just clogs. It's really nice at 3. If you're facing the mirror, put in more, but it is just not useful. If you're running a whole bunch of Pendulums, like once the new Performer Pal stuff comes out, then yeah, put this in 2, put this in 3, 3's in this deck, and so that way you can, it'll always be live because you have a whole bunch of Pendulums. 2 Wonder Ones. This card was I didn't even realize how good this was until I saw somebody play it, and it is just absolutely amazing. You can target a Trick Clown, target a Damage Juggler, use it, Trick Clown effect will activate. You drew 2, he'll summon off, it's a +1, or you get a search off. So it's just absolutely amazing. It will not trigger Plush Fire, but you can Pendulum summon the monster back, so it's not really too awful of a minus. And it's not even a minus at all, because you draw 2 cards, and this deck definitely needs some sort of draw power, getting you deeper into your deck, so that way you can not only just draw into your combo pieces, but also into your trap cards, so that, because the boards that you make really aren't that strong, because you're just making a whole bunch of XZs, and some of them are defensive, some of them are offensive, but there's nothing really stun that prevents your opponent from playing. If you make a King of the Pharaoh Imps, it is not going to stop your opponent from playing at all. And so So for the trap cards, we have a Time Space, a Bottomless, Torrential, Vanities, and Warning. Just the really good ones. Time Space is in here because Pendulum summons a thing, and if you're facing a mirror match, then you can always hit the XZ summons. So this card's always live. It's just really amazing, this format. And now for the extra deck, one Odin. Again, we're running 2, so you will have to digest or MO him back. And then we have Ignister. Only 1, but you really should only need 1. And you can just destroy stuff. You can destroy your opponents to bounce their scale, so you can easily get rid of their entire scale in the mirror match. And at the same time, you can trigger your plush fires, because it's really hard to trigger plush fire when he's a monster. So making him is very useful. Now into the XEs. Amaterasu, I didn't realize how amazing he was. He's absolutely beautiful, because if you can go off, like, he makes you going off absolutely beautiful, because you get out 3 of them, and then you XZ some, and then you banish a damage juggler. Then you can summon out damage juggler again, so you're cycling your damage jugglers, which is awesome. If you have 2, you can add 1 during your opponent's turn, so that way you can't get OTK'd, which is absolutely beautiful, and he's just absolutely amazing. Dark Rebellion is definitely necessary to run over pretty much anything. That is really, really big. This is definitely a monster that you make a lot in this deck. Trapeze Magician. You do not want this card summoned to be negated, because if it is, you cannot special summon him. 4-inch Trapeze Magician is awesome because he floats. He'll summon out, if he's, first off, you take no damage. That's 2500 or less, so no more dealing with Trick Clowns. And you can still summon out Trick Clown, don't be confused about that, but he can summon out Hirogomi. He can summon out Hirogomi. Like, it's really awesome to have Trick Clown attached to him, because then Trick Clown can summon him out. He'll summon out Plush Fire. And so then you have him and Plush Fire out, and then they'll just float again. Oh, your opponent's gonna attack. And his effect lets you detach to target a monster, and they can attack twice, and then they'll destroy it at the end of the battle phase. So targeting your opponent's monster, they attack into both of these. He'll summon out a damage juggler, and then he'll summon out another Plush Fire or something, maybe another damage juggler. You can just do a whole bunch of floating. It's just absolutely crazy with this card. So he helps get you the cards you need, just summoning them out, and he just floats for days so you won't be killed. Card Goading, he's not bad to make, just to make sure that you don't get wrecked, don't get targeted, don't get 101, and the whatnot. Ragnar Zero is of course the thing. King of the Feral Imp, because you can church out the Lizard Draw, the Partanaga, the Gigabytes, and I think that is it. Yes, that is it. So he has decent utility. Get your scales, get another level 4 that you can just plop on the field. He has a very good utility in this deck. Then 1-1 Castel, Diamond Dire Wolf, Diregress to Emerald, and then Abyss Dweller. Do note we do have some water monsters in this deck, so you can increase its attack. And then Cowboy, and this is a tech card that I've put in, which I don't see why you wouldn't run this card. F-Zero Future Hope. It'll help clear up the field if you have too many XCs. Like if you did summon this guy out and your opponent isn't attacking him and he's just sitting there with 0 attack, don't be afraid to XZ summon him into an F-Zero. You do lose all materials attached, so don't use it onto a monster like a King of the Feral Imp that still has a material unless you absolutely need to. It just helps you get over anything. It's hard to destroy, and he can't be destroyed by battle, and he can detach if he's destroyed by a card effect. And being able to steal an opponent's monster, even if it's just for that one battle phase, is very, 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 very useful. Very useful. And so F-Zero, I feel, definitely has a place in this deck as that one monster that just poops on your opponent. So that is it for this deck. It's very crazy, very powerful. It's hard to say, because I like this deck because it's 2 archetypes together. It's just it reminds me of when like Synchros first came out, like Teledad, you had the Psychics, but you also had other stuff. So I like these decks that have multiple different things in them, and they're just cards that work really well together. It's not like Necros, where the deck is 90% Necros, or Tellarknights, where it's just Tellarknights and then Call of the Haunted and Oasis. So this deck is definitely, I like it because it's original. And granted though, once Bosch comes out, it's going to become not as much, it's going to become more. You're going to see the Gigabytes be dropped, the Heroic Challengers be dropped. It's going to become more on just focusing on what needs to be important. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Stay tuned for some duels tomorrow. This is going to be a crazy deck. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.